Greetings, I'm the Celtic Cricket, and this is Spiritual Enlightenment. Thank you so much for tuning in, and today I have two good friends with me, and I'll introduce them. To my immediate right, in the beautiful purple color, we have Kathy Medeiros.
Nice to be here.
Thank you so much for coming on. And in the coral top over there, we have Karen Phillips.
Hello.
And thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
We've done a show before together, so this should be fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Kathy had a wonderful idea about what your spirit is talking and saying and showing. And because a lot of people go through life not paying attention to what is going on. And I'm going to let her grab the floor on this one. But
Yeah.
before I do, I have a quick comment. I run into a lot of people that they're waiting for this sign of happiness. There is no big sign. You have to enjoy the small signs along the way. And if people that are looking to be, they're going to wake up, be a multimillionaire, be married to a supermodel, and drive a sports car, and they're going to be happy, that's not right. You have to find happiness that your friend came for a visit, that your work was going well, that your health is
Yes.
good. This is where you can find happiness.
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to throw that at you.
Yes, absolutely. That's one way though that spirits talk to us is through guidance. Know what to do, what we need, what direction we need to go in. What I find a lot though too is that people don't pay attention, but sometimes it's because they don't know what the signs are.
Correct.
What it is. It could be just like a random thought or a random memory, of a person that's passed like 20 years ago. That's them putting that thought into your head to let you know that they're standing right next to you. They're trying to support you. Sometimes it's a scent. Excuse me, my asthma's bothering me today. Sometimes it's a scent though, or see something at the store. It's like, oh, that would have been great for so and so, but they passed away 10 years ago. They're letting you know though that they're with you though when you see something at the store and it's like, oh, this would have been great for them. Or, it's like you keep seeing the same set of words or the same numbers. Like someone I know that her brother had passed away and she's always seeing his birth date when she looks at the time. Like,
Wow.
well, he's with you during those times. Sometimes, you just get kind of like that sense that someone is standing right behind you.
That happens all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's constant though, and when you look, there's no one there though, but you're thinking of somebody. It's that person and letting you know that they're with you. Now, granted, that's a sense that most of us don't realize, don't really pay much attention to, or, sometimes it's like, when you're watching TV for a while though, and you keep seeing the same type of commercial that reminds you of, say your sister that passed away. She's the one that's making you pay attention to that commercial.
You know what happens to me a lot?
What's that?
I will be thinking about somebody that has passed away and their favorite song comes on the radio.
Music.
That happens to me a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, that happened. Yeah. This lady I know that her father passed away, but they were very, very close. And for the longest time, she kept hearing this particular song in the car. Only when she was driving, though. She wouldn't hear it anywhere else, even though she would have the radio on all the time. And I had to explain to her, he's the one that's putting that song on in the radio all the time, though, because that's when you got to pay attention to it. And come to find out that they did a lot of rides together in the car.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's trying to tell her that he's right there with her in the car, but it took me like 5 minutes to help her figure that out, that it was him doing that on purpose, doing that. And, sometimes when the radio gets kind of wonky,
Yes.
but yet 5 minutes later, it's perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's because, someone from the spirit side is letting you know that they're with you. A lot of times what I find is that people think there's a disconnect with the physical bodies, and then once the body dies, though, that's it, no more. That's not the case. They're always letting us know. It's like okay, what direction do we go in? You keep seeing the same thing though. It keeps popping up. Like if you need to take a class though to get a certificate program, you're going to keep seeing that subject somewhere.
So can I ask a question? I
Absolutely.
wanted to. So repetitiveness, is that a way to tell if that's a sign? If somebody keeps seeing it over and over
Yeah.
and over. So you would say that would be a way for them to know that that is a sign.
Yeah, especially if
Okay.
you're not quite getting it right away.
Sure,
So they will keep doing
sure.
it until you do get it.
Right, they're trying to get your attention.
Trying to
Yeah.
get your attention. So most people that wouldn't know about the signs, that's how they'd know that would be a sign.
Yeah.
If they keep if they keep seeing the same number over and over and over.
Yeah. And also another thing too, though, if you keep seeing the same numbers, like repetitive ones or repetitive twos, those are angel numbers.
Yeah,
Or some
yeah.
people call it that. Some people refer to as numerology, but that's what some people consider it.
Well, I see the number all the time, 1111.
Yeah.
have to pay attention
Me
to
too,
your thoughts.
all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Angels.
It's a good number.
Yes,
It's a
it is.
great number.
I always make a wish when I see it.
Yeah, good.
Well, the
Should we
reason
do
for-
that?
Wait,
Make a wish?
Yes, you can, because the reason for that, though, is because the multiple ones, you have to watch, because spirit side is taking a snapshot of what you're thinking at that point in time. So if you don't want something to happen that you're thinking of, change it while you're still seeing that number.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great advice.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'll have to try that. I usually just wish for something good.
Well, that's kind of the same thing,
I
though,
wish
right?
for a good day today.
Bam.
I wish to hit the lottery. No, I ask
come
for,
on
I
now.
wish for simple things.
I know.
Things that we can actually help and manifest.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What I also find too is that somebody might have like a certain saying that would just be like just them, kind of like a trademark of the person, and like within a matter of like 2 days, though, 5 different people could say that same saying.
That
And-
person's talking to you.
Yes, absolutely. They're letting them know too, though. And
I don't believe in coincidences. This
I
all
don't
happens
either.
for a
Yeah,
reason.
I really pay attention
Yeah.
now,
Yeah,
even
to
more
me, there's
so.
no such thing either.
Yeah.
It's coincidence at all.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. 100%.
Yeah, and what I find though too, though, is that someone I know, she had gone for a reading with another colleague of mine that's also a medium, and her late husband came through. And I don't know what the medium said though, but it was word for word the way her late husband would say it, and it was almost like a channeling
Yeah.
through the medium, which I mean, it is. We are channels,
Oh,
and yeah, she had goosebumps for days after that. So he was definitely right there though with the medium, though, passing through the information to her. And I think it took her a couple of days though to just be able to deal with that though, because she's still in the grieving process. So she hasn't been
Sure,
passed that
sure.
long yet. So
That's why delivery is so important. We have a big responsibility.
yeah, we sure do. And
It's
what
really
I find
important.
fascinating though too, though, absolutely. What I find fascinating too is that you keep seeing the same picture. And it reminds you of, say, your best friend though, from when you were a kid. And, it could be like of 2 kids though, playing though on playing with pebbles or marbles or something on the floor. But it reminds you of your friend, because that's what you would do all the time.
Right.
They're definitely right there with you. A lot of times people forget it's people, most people think though that it's this big thing like you referred to in the beginning. This big sign like,
Yeah.
the sun's going to come crashing down. It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't.
You're gonna get hit on
It doesn't.
the head with a hammer and you'll be enlightened.
Sometimes
It
an
doesn't happen
epiphany,
that way.
though, that can happen. Like, boom, oh my, yeah, I got it. But it's really,
Yeah, that's a
Proverbial
wake up.
light bulb.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's a wake up.
Yeah, it's not like the proverbial light bulb though shining.
Yeah,
It's like,
you know.
oh, here we are.
Within the same ballpark of what we're talking about, my mother, I just lost her 2 years ago. And she is very active and around me. And I have a photo album, and probably about a month ago, I woke up, and for some apparent reason,
It was-
a photo was out of the album on the floor face up. So when I woke up, I saw my mother.
Aw.
I don't know if it was a significant date for her. However, I smell her perfume in the house, and I hear her talking to me a lot, and dream about her all the time. And my mother liked to make apple pies.
Oh.
Well, she had a certain mechanical thing that helped peel the
Oh,
peels,
yeah.
and I gave it to one of my friends. And one night I dreamt that my mother was in the kitchen making apple pies, and she was talking to me, and she says, you know, your father doesn't believe I'm hanging around here, but you can see me all the time. Look at him, look at him, look at him. He doesn't even see me now, but you do.
God.
And this was in a dream.
Yeah.
And she was making an apple pie. The next morning, my friend called me and said, hey, how you doing? Oh, good morning, how are you? Oh, last night I finally figured out how to work that pie peeler thing that you gave me.
Isn't that
I'm like,
something?
wow, that's
Yeah.
not a coincidence.
Yeah.
That just story gives me
It's just
goosebumps.
great.
It's so simple.
It is. It's beautiful.
Dreams are actually the easiest way though for spirit to come to us though, because when the unconscious though, our mind's not getting in the way. So that's the most accepting way though for most of us though, is the dream state.
We're on the same page. I've done shows on that. I talk to everyone about that. And I tell people if you're getting into psychic development and mediumship, the easiest way to talk to someone on the other side is invite them in your dreams. My grandparents were very open to all this stuff, and I dream of them constantly. My other set of grandparents, I was equally as close to, but they weren't open to much. I never dream of them. Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
And my grandmother, before she died, said the easiest way to talk to someone is when they're dead. And anytime you dream of the dead, remember, the dead are remembering you.
Oh, absolutely.
I like the way that's put.
Yeah. And I was like 8 when she told me that.
You never forgot it though.
No, I didn't.
I know.
Through Reiki, mediumship comes through a lot for me as a
definitely raises
Reiki
your
practitioner.
vibration,
It's
yeah.
unbelievable, and it's always through music, songs.
Yeah.
Everything works different
Oh,
for
it's so
everybody.
interesting.
These are all really good
Like
examples, but somebody else
colors.
will have a slightly different
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
experience.
What I find some people may struggle with is like the memories, like certain specific memories of the person that they lost. And once I explain to them, though, it's like, you know, that's them letting you know they're right with you. Once they get over that hump and actually understands that, though, they can actually grieve a lot better now
Oh,
because
sure.
they understand, though, that
Oh,
like, yeah, they made it to heaven okay.
Yes.
Or, you know, the afterlife, though, however you believe
It's
in the afterlife.
validation.
Or they're
and
at peace.
they're at
Yeah.
peace, and that gives everybody peace, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so that was definitely a big thing though. Once they
Yeah.
got over that though, and it's like my one of my grandfathers, he smoked for a period of time though, but he stopped way before that he passed away. But once when I would smell that cigarette, like the butt of it, I'm like, okay, what's going on here? I don't smoke in my house. And I remember I was like, oh hi, you're
Yeah,
here.
he's around.
Yeah, so sometimes even I forget.
I hear
though.
that a lot
Yeah.
too from people. Cigar smoke or a cigarette or a pipe. They can smell it, or grandma's cookies or whatever. These smells come, the sounds, the feelings.
It's incredible music for me. It's just incredible, even with the vibrational.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's all vibrational, but
Another thing, yes. Another thing too is that people, what I find with people when I talk with them, that loved ones that we've never met, they don't think that they can come through and connect with us.
But they can.
Yeah, they can. You know, a lot of times they go through memories or that you're told or by the family, the memories of the person or how they were. You know, that's that personality coming through. Just because you never met them, though, doesn't mean they're not around you.
Oh, I know this is true.
Yeah. My father's father, I never met though, because he passed away when my father was young. But I can feel his presence, and he kind of comes to me in that. I have a black and white photo of my father's parents, and that grandmother comes through too. But her energy is a little bit different because she passed away when I was little, so they come in differently for me. And the way I feel him though is that he shows me the black and white photo of him, you know, that I have of him. Sometimes what I find is like, you know, people have told me that, you know, those pictures look a little bit different. And sometimes it's the color ones though too. And what I find is that they're just trying to let us know though, it's like, yeah, there's something to that picture because they're trying to let us know that they're around though too. It's not quite like the 3D photos. It's kind of like they're just kind of popping out just a little bit.
Right, I understand.
Yeah. So it's like, it's just enough to make you pay attention.
wow.
So that's why it's so subtle.
Sure,
but yeah.
sure.
So it's like, you know, it's like I have to let, you know, it's not like the beginning of the black and white photos where they look kind of pasty. That's a little bit
Can
different.
I ask you a question
Yeah.
too? Do you think the black and white is affiliated with the message black and white?
Sometimes,
Plain
yes.
as day,
Yeah, right in your
Sometimes it
face.
is.
right
Yeah.
here. Sepia tone, boom.
Yeah.
It shows that sometimes we are oblivious to things that are obvious.
Yeah.
Because
that big sign.
Yeah.
or we're just, or we're too distracted trying to get to work, trying to get to the bank before they close, drop the kids off at the babysitters. We're just on the go too much.
Yeah, sometimes life just gets in the way that way though too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I've had a friend, well, I still have a friend,
That's great.
and she was telling me her child was up in the middle of the night talking, and the child never met her mother. So she went in the room and says, "Who are you talking to?" "Grandma." I said, "Who's Grandma?" And the kid said, "Lillian." "How do you know Lillian? How do you know Lillian's your grandma?" "She told me."
Oh, that's
I get
so
that a
great.
lot though. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, because society didn't get to them yet though, so they
That's
still
right.
that connected because we're born with this.
She died 4 years before he was born.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah, so
wow.
there's no way he would have met them and
Oh,
had it in
no,
the physical.
no.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, because we're all born with this though. That's why sometimes you see babies are just looking around. It's not because they're trying to get the clearer vision. They are on the physical level, but they're picking up on spirits.
Children and pets can pick up on,
Oh,
they
yeah.
are more sensitive than us because they don't lose their innocence. We do as we get older.
Can I just explain something also? There's
Sure.
no ego when you're a baby and a child. The ego comes, we do need a little bit of it.
I
But-
see what you're saying.
The children are they don't even know what ego is.
But
so
as-
that's more,
They don't have
makes
that
it more
filter.
susceptible to not thinking, is that my ego or is that really happening?
But as you get older, your parents,
Yes.
schoolmates,
Yes.
teachers,
Yes.
no, that's make-believe. Don't do that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? So we shut it off, kind of.
Yeah. So what I also notice a lot too is that pets, if they're looking at a certain wall or a certain corner all the time, it's because they're seeing something.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times though, we just brush it off though if we don't know. Or it's like, so.
I don't brush it off on my pets. When they act like that, I know somebody is trying
Something's
to
going on.
visit or,
Yeah.
or communicate.
Yeah.
Right.
I always ask mine though when I see them do that. It's like, who's here? Who's here? You know, because I always wonder though too. Because one of my cats though, he was actually looking at the door. He's actually facing the door to my apartment though to get inside. He was actually looking at it. I'm like, and all of a sudden I felt like 3 people there. And I'm like, okay, who wants to talk to me first? You know, but it's like, but yeah, I find that really fascinating though that they can do that though. And yeah, it's just that sometimes our pets actually play by themselves like they're playing with another animal.
Absolutely.
You know, and those pets have actually passed away though, and they come back to visit too, just like humans have.
Well,
It's amazing.
I don't want to hog the show, but my mother was very spiritual. My mother did a lot of things that I'm into, but when she was living, she really wouldn't admit it, but she was doing it anyways.
Yeah.
We had a dog, and till this day, July
She's an
4th,
animal
this dog
communicator.
shows up every year. That's when it was hit and killed.
Yeah.
And even my mother said, "I saw the dog last night." We put food out for it. We know the spirit dog is not going to eat food, but we put it out as a token.
Yeah.
And every July 4th, someone in the house has an encounter with the dog.
It's great.
Yeah, I was wondering what the connection was with July 4th.
Yeah,
so
that's
the
what
dog
I have.
passed away.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I find though too though, like if there's like an important birthday or, the date though that the person passed away or like a wedding anniversary, a lot of times they will come in, try to give us signs to let us know that they're with us, like sometimes our anniversary cards will just show up randomly. We know it's not random.
Right, exactly.
But it just seems to be random because like all of a sudden the card's just there. Or, it's like you're thinking a lot about them or you see their birthdays a lot though on the time, on the clocks. So it's just, they definitely come though during those, those important dates too. Definitely.
Do you feel if you're running around constantly asking for them to come, that perhaps they won't? They kind of come on their own time, don't they?
They do whatever they
Yeah.
want, right?
Yeah, we do have that choice in that side too. That's what a lot of us forget. Sometimes though, they may not answer us though. if you're supposed to figure something out on their own. But
Yeah.
if they don't want to come, they're not going to come. They don't have
And
to.
you can't demand them.
Right. Yeah, and a lot of times what I find is that if someone's expecting them to come, they won't. More oftentimes they will not do that. Will not come
Oh,
in.
I know that.
I've experienced that.
I've gone and done mediumship.
Yeah.
I've had it done
Yeah.
with me, and
Yeah.
the person you want to come through maybe doesn't, but their brother or mother comes through.
Exactly.
There's no
Exactly.
guarantee.
No, you don't know. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of yeah.
Yeah, sometimes they want them to come to so much during the reading
Yeah, oh
that
God, yeah.
like you're actually blocking the energy
Yeah.
from them, allowing to come in.
Yeah.
What I find too, though, doing a reading, though, if someone hasn't been in spirit for very long and they're trying to communicate, but they're learning to communicate, so they're kind of struggling. I've actually had that happen once. I had to ask my guys to help come, like, be in between and actually help communicate. So after about a minute of that, though, the spirit was able to start communicating. So there's that as well too. Sometimes though, they have to just kind of learn to communicate with us as well too.
How about tools? How do you feel about using tools to communicate to spirit?
I do use them sometimes.
I do too.
I do.
Well, that's why I asked. I thought it was a good, interesting topic.
Yeah. Oh, good. Okay.
There's
Good.
multiple
Yes. Yeah.
tools that you could possibly
Yeah.
use.
Yeah.
A lot of times when I read cards, though, there might be, spirits very strongly coming in, though, when they feel like, they really need to know the message. I do photos, do photo readings, which I find helpful if they want somebody specific to come in. I've only had a couple of times where the spirit was struggling to come in. Or psychometry, they're using tools as well, though, like object that belong to the person, like a necklace
Absolutely.
or a watch or something, yeah.
I just did a class last night on that. We were
Yeah.
reading photographs and jewelry.
Yeah, I
And,
like doing that, though.
It
It's
was
fun.
very interesting. My students got names, dates of big events. It was interesting.
One of my first, when I was 16, one of my teachers, that's what she did.
No, it's psychometry.
So incredible.
Yeah.
And she's passed now. She comes around. Linda.
Yeah, I like psychometry. It's always interesting to what
So
comes through, though, in the object.
It's so interesting what you do.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you. I actually enjoy doing what I do because I know it actually helps
Wow.
people heal and, deal with the loss.
Yes.
So find their own comfort, though, so they can move
Yes.
forward with their lives.
Right. They want to
Yeah.
move forward with their life because they don't have to worry how so-and-so is doing.
And Kathy, you have such a nice way of delivering the messages.
Thank you.
You
I
know,
try for that. I really
Really,
do.
it's just nice. It's like a hug, you know?
Yeah.
Should we thank spirit every time a message comes through?
Absolutely, absolutely, because it takes them a lot of energy to come in, try to give us enough personality of them so the person that would give the message to can understand who that is.
And what would be an appropriate thank you? Just a verbal thank you? Or doing a good deed? What would you do?
Oh,
Well, I would, in my mind, I'll give them the intent, though. It's like, thank you for coming in. Thank you for helping work through me to give the person peace. A lot of times, too, I say, love and blessings from them coming in, to use me as a medium or as a conduit for the person. So that's how I do it. And I always appreciate it with much, much gratitude after every reading.
I can tell. It's beautiful.
Yeah, much, much gratitude.
It's
Awesome.
just awesome to have somebody like you around helping.
It's very humbling, especially when someone comes in for a very powerful message for the
Oh,
person that they
yeah.
need to give to the person
So
is
good.
needing.
Yes.
Yeah, especially with
Yes.
the grieving process of it, though. That's a lot of times that's when we need it the most for
Exactly.
our own sanity and for our own sake.
Sure.
Do you ever get messages that are difficult to relay? And if so, how do you deal with that?
Like difficult for the person to understand the message, or difficult to receive the message to give.
That you don't understand the message.
Oh, okay. I would ask them to show me in a different way or tell me in a different way so I can understand what they're trying to say.
Okay. So it's okay to ask them to kind of work with you?
Yes. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
I do
great.
all the time.
Yeah.
All the time I do. It's like, please, I do not understand. Please tell me something. Tell me differently or show me differently. Sometimes a lot of times they show me pictures. And I've had to a couple of times just say, okay, I don't quite understand what this message is, but I'm just say it how it's being shown. It always makes sense to them, because they use people that I know in my relationship with them, so just they understand the order of that.
I want to thank you, Kathy. We are out of time already.
My goodness, that goes by
Time
so
flies
fast.
when you're talking.
So fast.
So Kathy Medeiros, thank you very, very much
Thank you.
for your talking about spirit.
Very helpful, Kathy. Thank you for all the great information that you shared.
Thank you.
The way you shared it, it just makes me want to know more.
And thank you, Karen Phillips.
Thank
and
you.
we're signing off. This is the Celtic Cricket reminding you to live out your dreams and celebrate your spirit.